All around us, all the time, there is suffering. There's physical suffering, psychological suffering. And if we can keep these pathways open, then we're opening the possibility for others to engage in ideas and practices that can help them individually transform their own suffering into something rather different. Okay, so I think I need to say something about human suffering. It would be very easy right now, and I understand the accusation, to say, well, Michael, it's all very well for you. You live in Cambridge in middle-class comfort, in a peaceful environment, in a beautiful environment. And it's all very well for you to be talking about these ideas and practices in this context. But that's privileged and it's rare. And I understand the accusation. I'm speaking right now at a time of intense, heightened conflict in the Middle East. There have been these Hamas atrocities in Gaza, and the Israeli response to that is going to be overwhelming. And many people are suffering, and many more are going to suffer. The extent of suffering there is barely thinkable. Right now in Ukraine, people are being bombed and attacked in entirely unjustified ways, and the amount of suffering there is vast. Around the world, in sub-Saharan Africa right now, there are people starving, and climate change is affecting so many people around the world and driving them to the brink of starvation. The quantity of suffering in the world right now is simply immense. So how does what I'm talking about here speak to any of that? And I guess it does perhaps in two different ways. In the first way, we must never turn our back or close our hearts. This is what is happening. This is a dimension of human existence. This is part of life on this planet right now. There is suffering all around us, even in our comfortable, Western, developed communities. There is suffering. There is hunger and starvation, even in parts of Britain. And there are all forms of other suffering as well. And we're not going to eradicate that. And none of these practices that I'm describing touch that. They don't touch it. What we can do is open our hearts to this, allow it, respond in the moment as kindly as we possibly can to what's in front of us. Do what we possibly can to alleviate, share, reduce our resource consumption, give, pay attention, open our hearts and minds, attend to what is happening, attend to it with kindness, with as much love as we can muster, attend to it. And there are things that we can do. We can give, we can militate, we can engage in actions to help to mitigate or reduce suffering. And I have no prescription for any of that, and I don't care to have a prescription for it. Each of us must do what we can. So something we can do, and something that I personally try to do in my own life, is to keep the pathways away from suffering open, to hold open the possibility of other ways of being, other ways of living, other ways of behaving. All around us, all the time, there is suffering. There's physical suffering, psychological suffering. And if we can keep these pathways open, then we're opening the possibility for others to engage in ideas and practices that can help them individually transform their own suffering into something rather different. that in itself can really be a powerful service to humanity.